Hi, my name is Justin Rollins. I'm an assistant professor of media studies and film studies here at the University of Tulsa. And among the many things I'm interested in with regard to film and media are how people make sense of Hollywood, how people make sense of actors, directors, and how meaning is created outside of the texts of film and television shows themselves. So one of the things that we talk about in one of my classes this semester, which is Hollywood Plays Itself, is how we can try to make sense of how Hollywood tells its own stories. This is a constant source of fixation for Hollywood, and there are dozens upon dozens upon dozens of movies that are produced by Hollywood about the film industry. And we can see in those narratives a really interesting tension, for example, between representations of Hollywood as the dream factory, where you can achieve more wealth and fame than you can imagine. At the same time, there are representations coming from Hollywood of films as places that exploit people, that chew up and spit out aspiring, idealistic young folks coming from around the country. For example, we could think about Quentin Tarantino's recent film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and focus on what it chooses to represent in terms of Hollywood history, what it chooses to fictionalize, how critics and lay audiences like you and me engage with it, how it represents, for example, the impact of the Manson murders on the industry and the culture more generally. And so if we think about that as an example, we can look at other examples like Singin' in the Rain or Sunset Boulevard, or the many iterations of A Star is Born, both ones that focus on the film industry and ones that focus on the music industry, like Bradley Cooper's relatively recent film, and think about what kinds of narratives and images are coming out of those films, and how do audiences and critics try to make sense of those. And it's the combination of the film texts themselves and the reactions to those and the kind of way they meld together that I find particularly fascinating in thinking about the role of film in the world that we all share.